Today, I am joined by Bops. He joined us in Season 7 in Raiko, which was his very first Draft League season. After taking loss after loss, he came back in Season 8 and went 6-1, making it all the way to the finals, only losing to rookie all-star Neversaw. He even brought Keldeo its first MVP season, and now he's back in Season 9, competing in Entei, where this week he comes face-to-face with Entei resident Pyro. Welcome to the show, Bops.
Hello.
After such an incredible season, how does it feel to return to a new division filled with new faces and already taking your first win?
Uh, I was excited to play in Entei. It's always great to go up the next step. Um,
Hmm.
but it's also, you know, the pressure, quote unquote, that I kind of place on myself because I still want to get better and I want to climb further because like
Hmm.
there's still Suicune. Um, so it's exciting, but it's also the cause for nerves. But the
Nerve
more we
wracking, yeah,
play, the more it'll go down. So we just
for
gotta
sure.
just keep playing.
Yeah, take 1 week at a time. Well, last season, Muffin made a point of how you didn't draft a single Pokemon over 16 points. Was that an intentional decision by your part? You're
I didn't
only
go
like,
into it with a plan of
yeah.
I didn't go into it with a plan of like I'm not drafting above this spot. But
Hmm.
I in another league during like the downtime, had the idea of wanting to draft like a core around in that league I had Galapagos, Pecharon, and Rillaboom. And I didn't exactly like how much Pecharon or not Pecharon, but Galapagos fit. So I really wanted to do the Rillaboom Pecharon again because I liked how those two work together. Um, and so neither of those two were above 16. And then I kind of just fit in other pieces that I liked. A Keldeo fit the niche that I needed. Um, I really liked what Hoodra gave me.
Hmm.
Um, and then I had enough points at the end that I still needed a dragon type, and I was looking for a heavy physical attacker. That Roaring Moon being 16 points just kind of fell into my lap, and I was like, this
Yeah.
works. Um, so I didn't go into it with like the set plan of I am setting this budget nothing above this value. It was just kind of I wanted this pairing, and then the rest of it just kind of fell into place.
So it's kind of like comfort picking for you, getting
Yeah,
the
I
Rillaboom that
liked
you've
I liked
played
how those
before.
two work together.
Hmm.
And I just felt like I could do more with that pairing, and it was something
Yeah.
that I felt worked well together. So I just wanted to try it again.
Yeah. And this season you bring Rillaboom back. This time without the Pekka run, but with Hizuin Gudra again. And at the sixth pick, you picked up Palafin just fell right into your lap, right?
Yeah,
And yeah, go ahead.
I had the idea of wanting to try to do because I had talked about a whole bunch of different team ideas with Muffin,
Hmm.
and he's like, just slow down, like work with what you feel comfortable with, and then bring in some other new pieces. So I'm not like overwhelming myself with brand new, like this is a whole new team that I've never played with before. Um, and so I wanted to use the Rillaboom, and I was going to try to do Rillaboom, Pecharunt, something. But then Palafin fell into my pick, so I was like, I kind of just have to take Palafin.
Yeah,
Um, and then Rillaboom, I was talking to Muffin, happens to fit really well in a pairing with Palafin. I
and
wanted
the
to get
grassy
Pecharunt
terrain is
as
great.
well. Yeah, I wanted to get Pecharunt as well, but I kind of got robbed. So Iron Moth fit. I love Rillaboom with grassy terrain, helping Isu and Gudra eat the like physical ground hits that it normally doesn't like at all.
Hmm.
Um, so those two I felt worked really well. Palafin works with Rillaboom. Rillaboom's just kind of my glue guy, and I love him.
So great, like you like very versatile mon and hits like a truck, takes hits like a truck. It's just overall a great draft mon. And I do notice that you really enjoy those firewater grass cores. Because last season you had it with the Talonflame, and this season you got it with the first three picks that you took. Did you find comfort in that core?
Uh, so when I first got like introduced to draft leagues and competitive, I am around Muffin, so he's breaking down like the importance of our cores and like trying to make sure everything was paired together. Last season, I kind of grabbed Talonflame later, and part of that was like I needed defog, but I also didn't have a fire type, and so like Talonflame fit both of those holes, and it gave me decent speed. So like if I ever needed a physical fire type that could do something,
Hmm.
he was there. But he mainly came for defog if I needed it.
Yep.
This season, I was between like Volcarona or Iron Moth or like Heatran because they fit with Rillaboom and Palafin.
Yeah.
Um, and Muffin was talking about, Palafin really likes a good fire, water, grass core. And so Moth gave me speed. It's a heavy special hitter to pair with Palafin's just ability to punch through things physically. So I have a threat for both sides. My offense isn't entirely one sided one way or the other. Iron Moth also can offer kind of utility. Like week one, I ran it with sub toxic, just trying to like spread stuff around and be obnoxious.
Hmm. Yeah. It's quite the pain to deal with that. Well, speaking of that matchup, let's take a look at it because you faced me in week one, and that Porygon 2, the Terra Fairy, really, I could not really find a way to break that thing without like bringing Magnezone to Flash Cannon. I'm sure you did the calcs for it as well. But what were your takeaways from that first match in Entei? Have you learned anything new about like running this team?
I mean, I learned P2 just kind of eats. Um,
Yes.
that guy's
Yes.
a calc demon. Um, it kind of just hammered home the fact in my head that I need to sometimes turn my brain off and let Palafin do Palafin things.
Yep, for sure.
Um, I ran a pretty good risk week one because I was like, P2's my answer to Chen Pao. There's a Chen Pao in front of me, P2. Um, I could have just, let Palafin rip and then P2's there to clean up.
Hmm.
Um, and there were some mistakes I made week one where I kind of just wasn't paying attention to what was in front of me, and I pressed a few buttons that wasted turns.
Yeah.
So really, I just need to kind of think ahead, and also, but not think ahead, but like not skip over what's just sitting in front of me.
Hmm. Be present, I guess.
Yeah, be present, but also be mindful.
Hmm.
Um,
So yeah, let's take a look at the this matchup this week. We're going up against Pyro, who just came off of a very dominant 6-0 victory last week. Their gouging fire just ripped holes into the opponent's team and opened the door for Sinistcha to just kind of clean up. How are you preparing to deal with such a bulky team? Because they got the Torn T, the Ting Lu, they got double regenerator with the Galarian Slowbro as well. Do you have any answers for that gouging fire even too?
I mean, I can't go too in depth here, Steve. I don't want to give away secrets,
Don't worry,
but
the interview will come out after the game.
but we do have some stuff cooked up. Um,
Okay.
you know, P2 is a demon. That guy eats. Um, I do I his team is bulky. He's got a lot of, chunky Pokemon. He's got Regenerator to bring back any chip that may happen. But, my team isn't lacking in offense. Um, I've got Palafin, you know, the guy
That's all you
known
need.
to be the click button punch holes Pokemon.
Hmm.
I've got Iron Moth, which, signature move, 50% chance to just give itself a boost. So like that's gonna be nothing to slouch at if I can get, one or two boosts so that Pokemon can wreak havoc. I mean Rillaboom's nothing to sneeze at with, priority with its own priority.
Hmm.
P2 is kind of just an obnoxious threat because it takes a lot to punch through that Pokemon, and It's got its own recovery, so as much as you try, it can either spread T waves, it can do its own damage. It's got analytics, like I don't have to invest in speed, I can just give it more damage.
Yeah.
Um, it's got great coverage. Like I love the coverage that Pokemon has.
Porygon 2 and Porygon Z are some crazy Terra caps for sure. And you also have the Hitmonlee with the terrain as well. Have you thought about
Yeah,
using
I
that yet?
do. We were doing some calcs with it this week. He may make an appearance.
Okay.
Um, so I wouldn't skip over Mr. Hitmonlee as of yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he might make an appearance this week. He might not, but he will definitely make some appearances this season because that Pokemon with Unburden and a Grassy Seed can do some damage.
Just shreds. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Um, well, let's take a look at the future of your season, talking about it. Have you had a chance to actually look through the rest of your schedule?
I've looked at the schedule. I talked to Muffin about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, since I'm not super familiar with all of like the Entei players that have been here or people that have dropped down, new names. Um, but I talked to Muffin and he was talking about how my schedule is super stacked. Um, I recognize some of the names. It's not going to be super easy, but it's going to be a learning experience. And as the season goes on, hopefully I can just keep grinding either wins out or close losses out, just build experience. So if I'm in Entei again next year or next season, that hopefully I can repeat what I did in Raikou, where even if I don't have a great success my first season, my next season I come up and I keep moving.
Yeah, for sure. So, would you say, like, besides the ultimate goal of winning, do you have any personal milestones? Like, would that be your goal for the season?
I mean, bare minimum, I really, would like to make playoffs. Um, I don't want to come in and just kind of be bottom.
Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to do
Hopefully,
that, but
I can prove that I'm meant to be here and like I should stick around.
yeah,
You know, getting top eight and making playoffs just gives myself the ability to make a run.
you are
And it's
the
Pokemon.
yeah, you are the new kid on the
It's a
block.
game, it's Pokemon. It's a game of RNG. Um, so if you can make it to the playoffs, you know, the rolls are rolls,
Mm-hmm.
hacks are hacks. Whatever. Can happen. So if as long as I hit top eight, there's a chance.
There's always a chance. Well, you have anything else to add to your matchups, or
Um, I mean, I know Pyro's going to be a tough one. I think I play OK Buddy later on. I mean, none
yeah,
of the Entei games are going to be easy. Um, but I hope that with some help for my prep, that I can at least come out and give everybody a good game. Uh, and really, I just want to have a good season. And if
yeah,
that season's just good for learning, so be it. But I just want to keep going and keep learning.
yeah, for sure. And you've already given my run for the money, so I'm sure you'll give the rest of Entei a good whooping. But yeah, that's
It's the
that's
goal,
the
Steve.
that's the wraps on the interview. That's all the questions I got for today. We're looking very forward to this matchup against Pyro, and it'll be really exciting to see how you, Bops, build on this strong start that you've had in Entei. Any final words to you'd like to leave with us?
Shout out my dog, Muffin Man. He's taken me under his wing, and hopefully, I can prove that his faith is not misplaced.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Bops, and take care.
You too.
Today I'm joined by Pyro. He first arrived here in Season 7 and immediately made waves, proving his skills in his debut season in Raikou. He was quickly promoted up to Entei, where he was put in the work, where he put in the work and came close to earning that promotion to Suicune. However, last season may not have gone his way, but it seems Pyro has returned with a vengeance, dominating his opening game this season with a ruthless 6-0 14-turn sweep. Welcome to the show, Pyro.
Thank you, Steve. Happy to be here. I'm
Let's
so
go.
sorry, DJ.
Sorry?
I'm very sorry, DJ. That
Mm.
was a monster game.
You
I do not
showed
appreciate
no remorse to DJ.
that.
Welcome to
Yeah, I just
Entei,
wrote it
bitch.
on the spot.
Let's start with a little look-see at your team that you've drafted this season. You went with a bit of a more like bulky team, starting with Tornadus Therian and Ting Lu as your first picks, known for like their utility, survivability, and then you grabbed your one of your more iconic Pokemon here at the Burn Tower, Gouging Fire, which you almost brought to an MVP title in your debut season, if you remember that.
Oh, I do. Oh,
Yeah,
that Gajic Fire core team brings back memories, dude. That was an amazing
that-
season. I was
it's
a
a
replacement
crazy
coach
team.
too.
Were you a
Oh
replacement?
yeah. Yeah, I was replacement in
Oh
draft.
damn.
I was like second pick. Heck yeah. Yeah, this is
Well,
like gonna be really fun. I'm really enjoying the team from what I'm seeing in builders right
yeah, for
now.
sure. Like he's already put up like 3 kills, and it's only been 1 week. Can you give us like a little rundown of the team that you drafted here?
Alright, so basically it's Tornting, but with my fun hazard stack spin on it. But I don't deserve this Gouging Fire at all. I'm gonna be real. And then I took my favorite Terra
Round
Captain,
three.
like ever. Round 3 Gouging Fire's a steal. And then I took probably my favorite 2 Pokemon. I've been really loving Mr. D Miss Diancie. Miss, I don't know. It's probably generalist, knowing it's legendary. And then I really want to try Impo All Gen. I know that it pairs well with Tornting. And then Sinistra is just my goat, honestly. This guy's been carrying me in every league. People hate, but they're just trolling. Slowbro G, I'm like, there's not any good. I already took my water type, so and I think Aloe got taken. So I'm like, I need another
Mhm.
regen guy just to piss people off. So I took so I took Bro and Mienshao for that reason. Mienshao's not really gonna eat hits, but Bro is. Bro's goated. And then everyone's favorite steel type, or least, my favorite in this gen, and is Orthworm Bro. Muffin hates on him for some reason, but he's trolling. Orthworm's my goat. This guy just gets too many moves. He walls pretty much every ground type ever to exist. He beats Great Tusk 1v1, which is insane.
See?
And yeah, I think so. With Iron Defense probably press.
Um,
It's insane. I mean, I have Sinisha and Torn T, so I'm not worried about a freaking Great Tusk,
yeah.
but yeah, and
Well,
then Toadscruel's just a cool guy.
you always have like a Terra Toad School for like no reason.
Okay, so I didn't really want Terra Orthworm because he's just my goat. Orthworm just never needs Terra in my opinion. Like, yeah, it would help in some games, like for this week, having Terra Water or Terra Water or like a resistance to water would be nice. But it just if you just look at the matchup, like I can't use Orthworm versus Iron Maw or the Forges anyway, so it's just kind of useless. And Toadstool can check the Paladin if I do the right things,
Hmm.
and it can check all 3 of the top 3, which is a huge threat. And it can help versus the Forgus and the Goodra, all this other stuff that eventually I will fight.
Yeah,
It's
well,
just really good.
we'll
People
get
just hate.
into that matchup eventually, but I also want to like asking players because everyone has like their own opinions on draft and their own draft philosophies and processes. I want to Can you take us into like your mindset starting a draft and what are you looking out for? What's like your
So,
goal in mind?
so yeah, when you go into a draft, I'm one of the people who plan late, but I think about things early. So the first thing I look on is the draft board, and I look at the first at the top tiers. If I don't like anything from 17 to 20, usually, I basically just say F that, and I take like a trillion mid tiers, and I draft around them. But if it's high tier Terra, it's a lot different. But if it's like mid tier Terra or low tier Terra like this league, some mid tier Terra captains are just nuts. Like in CMM, for example, they have like Terra Hoopa Unbound, and that guy's just a pick one for me.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's some other stuff in other leagues like that. But if you're a first pick, I would just say take the top tier and just build around make your entire team based on like the broken guy, right?
Hmm.
But if you're on the back and you're like a wheel pick like I have this season, I would just take a good two, like a two like a 2-pick. So going this league, I pretty much said, I'm taking Torn T, because I have not used this guy and I think he's really cool. And then my backup for Torn T was Greninja, if I got sniped. So going into league, I'm like, I want Torn T. And then I had to pick between taking Ting-Lu or King because they're just like things you take with Ting-Lu. And I'm just a hazard attack player, so I took Ting-Lu because yeah. And then I decided to play a more bulky offense team because I somehow got Gouging Fire, and then just really built into that with the later picks in my draft. I would suggest that you don't take triple top tier, unless you know what you're doing, because just burning 60 points is not really a great idea in like 90% of leagues
It's
you play in.
a lot of
But
points.
it is a lot of points, usually like half of them. But if you have 3 good mons that you just can't beat together, like you cannot beat the score. Like my top 3 is just unbeatable with a team. You have to prep. You have to bring like your entire team to beat 3 Pokemon, and I still have another like 7 you have to prep for.
Mhm.
So the goal with the rest of the squad is just support. Like you could see the rest of my team is like around the 8 to 10 point range. Well, because I spent like more points, but I think that if you just take the broken top tier, you'll eventually break through. But if you take mid tier guys and you just have like 8 of them, and then a cool Terra Captain, I mean that's also just as good, right?
Yeah, for sure. And you always take like an early Terra Captain. Like this season, you took the Terra Diancie pretty early.
Yeah. So depending on how strong you think your Terra Captain is, it plays a huge factor, in my opinion. So I think
Mhm.
Terra DNC. Well, on this draft board, Terra Douglas is the best Terra Captain. I've said that to you, but I want
Yeah.
that to be known. And then I think the next best Terra Captain is Melota, followed by DNC. And I already took Torn T, so Douglas was off the table instantly for me. And I took Tinglu with it too, so it's really off the table at that point. And then Meloetta just really didn't fit with what I was trying to do. And I'm like, well, I know how to use Dia, so I might as well just take Dia really early. But if you're not getting like some really good Terra Captain, like there are some good mons that are Terra that can still Terra on the board. Like we still have Wika, we still have like Hisuian Braviary and Blade, and even Gator. Gator's. And if you don't really want one of the really good ones, you can still be happy with Terra Regidrago, Terra Tornai,
Or a Gligar.
and Terra Gligar's a goat. Terra Mabo is pretty fun. Terra Dragalge is pretty good, I've heard. People like
Mhm.
that guy. And I mean Glacier got taken, but it's still a good Terra Captain. But there's just a lot of the low tier guys with Terra are just good. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
I think draft players understand.
Well, let's take a look at your sorry, let's take a look at your week 1 match, which had like the entire division buzzing with a clean 14 turn sweep, showing absolutely no hesitation to DJ at whatsoever. Did you expect the battle to go that way, that fast, or did the battle just line up perfectly to your game plan?
Um, yes. We'll say yes. But basically I miss EV'd my Gouging Fire and my DNC.
Mhm.
So they were slower than the Meloetta after the pirouette form.
Yep.
Uh, so basically, if he just stayed in triple axle my gouging fire, I pretty much just lose, which is quite unfortunate. Um, because I'd have to like play big stall at that point and pivot my entire game plan. Um, I mean, I knew that Meloetta could be physical, but I thought the strongest move it had was Terra Blast Ice, and I did not know it learned triple axle until he clicked it. I even looked in the game, and I'm like, this guy can't threaten me. He's just gonna click Terra Blast. And then he just pulls out with triple axle. I'm like, well, I guess he has to miss now.
Must
And
have
then
been
he
a shock.
switches.
Yeah. Well,
That was a big shock. And then he basically let me get another Dragon Dance, I believe. And then it was just over from that point because it's Gouging Fire, right?
yeah. Nothing can get through that.
I I feel a little bit bad still. I even the crit on Petra also just lost him the game too.
Oh yeah.
If you didn't know that, that crit mattered. I'm pretty sure.
Well, let's move on to this week's matchup, which is up against Bops, the new kid on the block. He's already picked up his first win, and now he's staring down one of the toughest matchups of his schedule, which being you. You guys share some commonalities, of course, both having your start in Raiko, but where you guys really differ is that I know you got a lot more draft experience, and he's kind of still new to the scene, only having like starting season 7, I think. And you're in that promotion a lot faster. Do you think that like knowledge department could give you that edge?
I think that it comes up. I don't think that like knowledge check thing is very important in draft because I mean you can obviously see what your opponent has. If
Mhm.
you have seen my play or you just know what I like to do. I mean I think you can assume what I'm gonna do in this battle, but I think that knowledge is not a huge deal in my opinion. I think it's more about the matchup. So I'm a huge matchup guy. I think that it all comes down to prep for the
For
for the
sure, and
50-50 games.
good prep can lead to a victory, or
Big win.
bad prep
Heck yeah.
lead to a loss. Um,
Yeah, or bad play.
and
Play
bad play
matters.
and hacks, not to mention.
That's true too.
Pokemon is a fickle bitch. His team also features a pretty offensive Fire, Water, Grass core, and that Palafin in particular could be quite dangerous against your defensive backbones. On top of that,
Yeah,
this
I
could
agree.
be a battle of Terra Captains because both of you guys have like some of those stronger Terra Captains available on the board. Are you able to walk us through some of your team building process and how you want to take on this team?
Um,
And you don't have to. This interview will probably go out after the game.
okay, okay, then that's what I was asking. So the game plan is pretty much to play like a little bitch. I'm gonna be
Okay.
real. So the goal is to bring this heat set of lead Terra Dragon Diancie with the double hazards and play devil's advocate here and just get up spikes and rocks and then play with bulky guys and win the game slowly. That's the whole plan.
Easy. Do you have any win cons, I guess, like that gouging fire setup again? And like, do you see it possibly having like another DJ moment?
And then I can either click Moonblast, Diamond Storm, or Earth Power. I'm not sure what I want out of those three attack moves at the moment. And I can just boom the Palafin or his switch into my DNC, which I think is a cool strat.
Yeah, for sure.
Board is
I
gonna
know.
be really weak to the gouging, in my opinion. So that's gonna be my switching for it. Just this Morning Sunset. That I think is gonna be really annoying for it to deal with. And gouging fire is really good because Palafin can't hit it.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I'm gonna bring a defensive helmet, torn feet for just pretty much bullying.
So you just want to bully the poor kid, huh?
Yep. The plan is to literally just play big defense, play big ball here, and just win the game.
Hey, might as well.
I'm not
That's
doing this. I've
that's the
seen
team.
what this team does to other things because I watched a video on this team. I've seen this kind of draft before, and I just am not excited to see what happens when he can do setup moves or all this other garbage that he can click. So I'm just not gonna allow him to run any other item than boots. And if you are running boots, I have knockoff Torn, and I have Tinglu who can chip you down. I have other knockoff mons that can just be annoying, honestly. So I'm gonna be annoying as I can this game. Get my knocks off and just kind of play the slow game and maybe get a DD on gouging to win a game or something in the end game.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't really kill the Dawn Fan early because gouging fire is kind of bad against it. And I want to run Heat Crash, not Flare Blitz, because that chips me down further to put me in Paladin range or something.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's a good strategy. We'll take a look at your future matches as you seem to be running down after Bops the Raikou Gauntlet, facing the Raikou Wonder Girl Never Saw next week, and then you get to face Dobacito and Tito down the road. Are you confident in your team skills and schedule to make a real push for the playoffs this season? And obviously
Sorry,
beyond, sorry,
nothing. You can keep going. No, yeah.
beyond the goal of winning, obviously, do you have any personal milestones you're also chasing?
No, I just want to hit the road running. It's probably my last league. This is my last like set of leagues for Gen 9 before we start moving to the ZA stuff and I start playing
Hmm.
more Nat decks. So really gonna try and use this team lead me to a deep run in playoffs. So looking at the Neversaw team, has Spectre or Shifu single as his big two guys. And I personally think Spectre is a fraud. And Urshifu's single strike is never going to break through the NC in his life. So I think that's going to be chill. Um, natural. Oh, wait. Am I Oh, no. And then I fight week 4 against Kira. So I'm so bad at looking, and I did not prep this at all. They have Audio's Core of Cinderace. I might just throw because they have Cinderace. That's a joke. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be probably pretty hard, but it'll be chill. I'll pick some. I'm not trying to leak my whole strat for the whole season.
Yeah.
And then Dopsito is a really I played him in other leagues. I played him in DMPL a lot, and he is a
Hmm.
super strong battler. And he loves his little ice type stuff. But he drafted Sneasler or Arboliva, so that's gonna be lovely for me. Arboliva is a threat. And then he has
Yeah.
Ogre Hearth too. And a Zapdos. Oh my god, this is a classic Dopsito annoying trap that I don't want to play. And then I'll go over the Ninja game and then I'll stop. See what he has. So Trapagos is a workless score. Yeah, he's playing the same thing as I am pretty much. But with worse Pokemon. So my goal of that game is probably gonna be put pressure on his top mons, like to wrap this score. And chip him down, probably, unfortunately for him too.
Sure.
But I feel like gouging could just click one button at first. Oh, he's a Vaporeon. Ah, he's a
Yeah, well, you gotta
that's
get
a
through the
Vaporeon first.
Vaporeon, and it's home free for gouging.
Heck yeah. So we have that's what we have double grass for.
Yeah, for sure.
Might hit
Um,
a little
we are reaching
spell.
20 minutes, so I'm gonna have to cut you off here, if that's all right.
Alrighty. That's fair enough. Yeah, it's chill.
But I really appreciate you taking some time to have this interview with me, Pyro, and I wish you the luck in your upcoming match against Bops and the rest of the season. Do you have any final words you'd like to part with us?
Yeah, I wanna say my final sorries to DJ. And I'm gonna win this week for you, brother. Again. And I'm gonna playoffs too. And I'm gonna take my first singles championship home in BTDL season at Entei. And I'm gonna
Awesome.
be happy about it. And all y'all are gonna hate Tortite.
I'm overhating it. All right. Well, appreciate it. Thanks, Pyro, and have a good one. Take care.
You as well.